Thank you, Claudia. And of course, back in Orlando here, ahead of a huge fight card on Saturday night at the Caribe Royale, live on DAZN around the world. And the great fights keep on coming. Last week, we had a sensational card in Tijuana. This week, of course, Orlando. Next week, we see J.R. Pataya defend his IBF and Ring Magazine Cruiserweight World title against Jordan Thompson. Ellie Scotney also defending her world title on the card. The week after, we just can't wait. Lee Wood against Josh Warrington in a tremendous all-British matchup as well. Jack Catterall against Jorge Linares coming up in October. And we go to Monaco on November the 4th. And before that, even Rocky Hernandez against Oshaki Foster. November the 18th, we see Diego Pacheco in Los Angeles. The 25th, Chantel Cameron defends her undisputed titles in the rematch against Katie Taylor. December 9 might even be a little Devin Haney coming up. And of course, December 16th, some are saying save the best till last. One of the most talked about, one of the most anticipated matchups in boxing between two great fighters, two great characters as well, and just a tremendous fight for the sport. The WBO World Champion Jesse Bam Rodriguez against the IBF World Champion Sonny Showtime Edwards. Glendale, Arizona, pre-sale went through the roof. Official sale starts at 3 p.m. today. As I said, one of the best matchups in boxing. I'm going to start with you, Sonny, over from the UK. Never seen you in shape like this 13 weeks out. Great, actually, to announce a big fight like this with so much lead time. You guys have come face-to-face together today. Exactly what you wanted. You got it December 16th.
Yeah, well, firstly, thank you, Eddie. Thank you, DAZN. Thank you, Bam, his team. Garcia, Mr. Honda. This is the fight that I've been waiting for before it was even Bam. I mean, before Bam went up 2 weights and sort of shocked the world in the way he did against a great fighter and then continued to look great. Before he'd done all of that, I've been waiting for, you know, the big event to be part of. And, you know, I think Bam Rodriguez is one of the best fighters under 30 in the world of boxing right now. I think this won't be the only time we're sat here. I don't think it's the only weight we'll fight at either. I think we'll see each other again. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to the event. The whole process so far. Thanks for the first-class flight tickets, Eddie. We flew comfortably. But yeah, this is what it's about. These sort of fights, seeing the WBO title. I mean, I was on the WBO route before I was on the IBF route, so I've got all the WBO and IBF baubles all around my house. So to have the two proper belts, it's a dream come true.
You didn't care about the fight being in the US. You were happy to even go to San Antonio. Just 100% belief. You know, I talked earlier that the mindset that you have going into these fights is just that you are unbeatable. You know how good this guy is, but you have absolutely no doubt in your mind you become unified world champion on December 16th.
Yeah, but before that, I craved the challenge. I feel like boxing has been, for the most part, amateurs, professional, probably a bit too easy for me, or probably a bit too much within myself. And this is a fight that I can really, you know, 13 weeks out, you've commented already, I'm already way into my camp. Just come back from Tenerife, 2 weeks training there, sparring 12, 14 rounds in 31 degrees heat, running out of sparring partners. I'm flying. If anything, you know, the amount of time is the problem. But if anything, you know, we've got a good run up. We can build it up. We can get excited about the fight. It gives Bam ample time to recover from his last fight and his injury, etc. I know what that's like. I've been in that position myself. So, yeah, no problem. It was always a very confident. It weren't, oh, should we take this fight or is this a good fight? When I signed for you, Eddie, I said all the names I was comfortable to fight, at what price, wherever, whenever they was. It wasn't an issue. It wasn't whether it was Bam or it was Martinez or Quadra. All the fighters that you were mentioning to me, it was any of them, whoever you want, whoever DAZN wants. The best fight, the biggest fight, and the easiest, quickest fight to make. Props to the champion on your right. He's the first person in my pro career, a fight that I've really wanted that I've got. So props to him, props to the promotion, the broadcaster, DAZN for really getting it. I know it wasn't a hard fight to make from my side, but maybe that's the benefit of maybe having a bit more leverage or, in your eyes, a bit more options that they weighed it up a bit more. Whether me, anyone, I think I beat them also.
We know you like to be outspoken. This guy, super chilled to my right. Do you need to get under his skin a little bit? Do you need to make him fight off emotion in this fight as well? We know you're a little bit of a wind-up merchant, but you know you finally get the chance to come face-to-face. I know you wanted him there for your fight earlier in London, but now's the time. Is there any mind games going into this fight as well?
I'll be perfectly honest. mind games and sort of trying to get little advantages, or trying to get them in certain gloves or ringside, all of that is so just immaterial to me. I'll be real. I think he's a great fighter. He's shown that he'll fight, scarier fighters than me on paper at a week's notice. So I'm going to try and get into the man's head. No, I don't need to. His approach and his demeanor and his character in sport is who he is. He's not trying to be no one else. He's not, took this fight and started acting differently. So it's never in a position, even before this, after this, to get in the head, because I don't think I need that advantage. I genuinely think I'm good enough that, Bam is a tremendous fighter, but the reality is that you're telling me now to walk through those sort of gates to that other side of how good I am as a fighter. I've got to go for a 23-year-old fighter, and unfortunately, that's just the reality of how I see it. He's a very good fighter, but I think a 30-year-old Bam will probably be better than 23-year-old, and that's just the way it is. I feel like I've been in with fighters every bit as good as him. I think I've been in with fighters that if he'd been in the ring with them, they'd be hard, very, very, very hard fights. So it is what it is. We'll find out about each other in the ring. Like I said, I don't need to get in his head. I don't need to try and draw him out of back and forth. I just like speaking about the fight. I wake up every day excited about it. I have been since we were talking about it before the campus. As you know, fight week, I'm more talking about Bam than I'm even caring about campus. I knew I was going to beat him. I could have beat him with my eyes closed. So I basically did. I stood there in range and let him throw as many punches as he wanted, and he still couldn't beat me. So with Bam, it will be a bit different. I think he's a lot more dangerous. I think he's a lot better. But at the same time, I think it'll bring a much better version of me out. And in camp, you're already seeing it.
Bam, we know you're super chilled, but these are also the fights that you wanted desperately, and you've never ducked a challenge. We go back to Quadras. You took that fight on a week's notice. Rung Versailles straight off the bat as well. You're in this sport to unify divisions. You're in this sport to win titles, and you're in this sport to prove you are the best in your weight class.
Exactly. I've never been one to say no to a fight. I've always accepted a fight. You know that, Eddie. This is the best versus the best. This is what every boxer dreams of. Unifying titles. December 16th is going to be a movie.
What do you make of this man on my left? Quite a character, full of confidence as well. I know you rate him as a fighter. You clearly rate each other as fighters as well. But just like his belief, he talks a little bit more than you. Yeah. But you have that similar belief that you can't lose on December 16th.
Of course, we're two different people. He shows his confidence running his mouth, but me, I show my confidence in the ring. I never get my will broken. My last fight, I had my jaw broken, still kept going for 6 rounds. So that just shows the confidence I have in myself. I know anyone I get in the ring with, I'm going to beat him.
One thing I think you both share is a tremendous IQ for boxing. A lot of people talking about the movement of Sonny Edwards and how you have to cut the ring off. And, how do you see this fight playing out? I know you're not going to give your tactics away, but a man that likes to move a lot sometimes stays in the pocket and throws punches. And I know you faced all styles, but a different and difficult style over here as well.
Yeah, of course. Sonny is a great fighter. Every one of his fights I've seen, he's always the one on the back foot. Hitting and moving, hit and don't get hit. But I feel like he hasn't faced anyone like me, someone with good footwork, someone with the determination to win. December 16th, like I said, is going to be a good one.
Obviously in camp with Robert Garcia for this fight as well. A lot of your other opponents, Quadras and Rung Versailles, who spoke very little English as well. This is a fight that people can really get their teeth into. This is a fight everyone is excited about. This is the fight that you got into boxing for, these kind of moments.
I mean, this is my first, this is the biggest fight in my career, and I'm so excited to finally, face Sonny Edwards. I've seen a lot of talks of it even way before the fight was actually signed. So December 16th, I know a lot of people are going to be tuned in, and a lot of people are going to show up to the fight. I got a lot of my people from San Antonio coming, so I feel like this is going to be just another hometown fight.
And obviously, you believe you are number one in the division. You believe this man number 2 in the division. You think this is the 2 best in the weight class?
Exactly. This is the best versus the best, and may the best man win.
Sonny, back to you about the way the fight might play out. A lot of people feel like it's that simple. I'm sure you don't, but you have to cut off the ring against Sonny Edwards. You have to find a way to force the pressure. You have to find a way to make him hold his feet. Much more difficult for that than for Bam Rodriguez?
I feel like it's so much simpler to just say, you need to cut the ring off. Everyone cuts the ring off. Everyone knows how to cut the ring off. The thing with me is I don't go in there with any sort of set plan. I don't go in there with, I'm going to do this to him or this is how it's going to go. I get in there, I measure my range, and I let him beat himself every single time. I don't knock people out. I don't need to. 16 unanimous decisions. I fought the best in the world. People ain't been beaten in 13 years. People ain't beaten in 8 years. Knockouts coming at their ass. I'm not scared of him. I stand in front of him, trade in the pocket of him. There's nothing I haven't seen in a boxing ring. And he has got very good footwork. He has got very good footwork. I'll give him that. But I think defensively, reactively, IQ, composure, I feel like I've got a skill set and a mindset that, it's very hard to break down. To even get, 2 rounds of success in a row, I think is a hard enough task for most of my opponents. And maybe Bam is that first fighter in my 18 years of boxing that I'll get in the ring and feel like, oh, wow, he's really good. I don't think so, though. Genuinely, I don't. I think he is good. I feel like his youth will pay it against him. I think once he gets in there, talking about it being a home fight, they made sure of that. Last year they were telling me they were coming to the UK to take my belt. It didn't happen. He's got the WBO and a vacant title, in home. That was his version of winning the flyweight. When they promised me that they're going to drop down and they're going to come over and they're going to fight in the UK, we'll see it. That never happened, and then the fight gets talked. It never got mentioned, the UK. I didn't say, oh, it has to be there. I didn't care. I weren't stalling about, I need more money, Eddie. I weren't stalling, I need a 16-foot ring or 20-foot ring, or because all that's immaterial. That, for me, just shows signs of a team that don't have full belief in their system. I'll be raw. I feel like anyone you get against, Bam, and then after Bam, I've said it in the build-up, I found great disrespect that a legend, obviously stable mates in Roman Gonzalez, I felt great disrespect on just getting pardoned on, it's an easy fight, because no one's had an easy fight against me. No one in my life has had an easy time in the ring against me, let alone an easy fight, and I don't think it's going to start now. But my message is clear. I beat Bam, and then there's only one fight that I really want, and that's Roman Gonzalez.
Talk about your power. Some people say you're lacking power, tremendous ring IQ and footwork and skill. You think you have the power to hurt this guy as well in this fight?
Do you know what? I feel like it's only people that just watch me fight on fight night that say that. Because when I get in the ring, I make sure I win. Like, I'm sorry, my ego isn't insecure enough where I'll be sat there in the 3rd round thinking, oh, Eddie's telling me to knock him out. I need to, otherwise everyone's going to think I'm shit. I just win. The only thing that matters to me in my contracts and for the roof over my kid's head and their schooling system is winning. So I get in there, I'll win. Come down and watch me spar and then start talking about, oh, who can punch hard, who can't punch hard. I don't try and get in there and take people's heads off. I get in there and give myself a 100% chance of the win. I don't put myself in the positions to land a big shot where I can get caught back. And that's what I think is going to be the biggest task for Bam to overcome.
The bigger puncher in the fight?
Maybe, sure. I think he definitely plants his feet and tries to punch holes in people more. And it is definitely, for most eyes, more exciting and more entertaining, easier to market, easier to promote. That doesn't make it more any likely to win. If anything, I would pick the fighter that gets in the ring for the 1st round and gets out in the 12th round and barely loses a minute of the 2nd of the fight. Regardless of how exciting it is, regardless of how, how powerful a punch is. Like, you look at the examples now, the Devin Haney's, the Shakurs, they do very little wrong. Are they going out there constantly trying to blow people out? No, they're not. They're just boxing them and they're reacting to what's in front of them, and I think I do that. I think a 23-year-old Bam that's going to try and impress. Also, maybe going to try and hurt me a little bit and show that, no one else has hurt him. I really am that guy. I'm saying he's not. I don't think anyone is around these weights right now. But it's on him to show it, and I think his ego and his pride will try and make him force it, and I think that will be the thing that sort of unravels him. I think if you look at me and the way I fight and think I'm fragile or think I'm an easy pushover, or once you've just got in, that's it, then you probably haven't watched all the fights, because I could stand there 2 minutes and, 2-3 shots get in maybe, out of about 100. Like, I've got a very good defense inside the pocket, outside the pocket. I think I'm an enigma. I think I'm a Rubik's Cube tied up with a puzzle and a riddle after it. I think what I bring to the ring, you can't prepare for, you can't plan for, because no one's got my mindset. No one sees life the way I see it, let alone a boxing ring. No one sees the work that I've put in and the years that I've put in and the over and over. I could sit here and name fighters when you're stable, weights above me that I've had in my gym, fresh when I've had 6 rounds in me and I've stood them on their head. I'm not going to, but I could. World champions, European champions, British champions, featherweights, super featherweights. And they couldn't argue, because we could have the discussion. Like, I'm comfortable in the boxing ring. It's the only thing I know.
Jesse, he's an enigma. You can't plan for him. Can you plan for this guy? Do you need to hurt him? Do you have the power to hurt and stop this guy as well?
I don't need to hurt him. I just need to outpoint him. My last fight, was a little glimpse of how the fight's going to go. But with Gonzalez, I feel he was taller than Sonny, which he is. So I feel like December 16th, I'm going to be more than ready, and it's going to be something he hasn't seen before. So just tune in.
He talks about your age quite a bit. Also got to remember you are 23. You expect to get better as well, but plenty of pro experience as well across the weight divisions down at of course, light flyer, moving up, winning world championships at Superfly as well. But you feel like you have the maturity to deal with this guy?
Of course. I mean, it's no different. This is just another fight for me. I'm gonna go in there and do what I do. You know, it's gotten me this far, what I do, so this is no different. I'm gonna go in there with the same mindset, you know, a little different game plan. Me and Robert are gonna work on that, so I'll be ready.
And finally, the two of you will come face-to-face December 16th in Glendale, Arizona, but full of confidence, both of you. Any particular prediction for this fight, Sonny? What happens live on the zone in this epic unification contest?
First round knockout. Nah, I think it's going to be a good fight. I think it's going to be a great event. I think people are going to show out. You know, the tickets are quite cheap, so get them while you can while they're there. But now I'm just excited to be a part of it. 100% confident of the win. I feel like that's going to play out how it plays out on the night. I hope that BAM has the best preparation. I hope that there's no, oh, we only got 2 weeks, 3 weeks of sparring. You know what I mean? That's why the 16th of December was no problem. They can have the whole year to get ready, to recover, to spar, to get in shape, to get in camp, yada, yada, yada. I'll be there, ready, 16th of December. I'll be here, and, you know, I'm going to steal the show like I always do.
Bam. By any means necessary, victory, December 16th.
Exactly. That belt right there is coming home to San Antonio.
Well, the WBO.
That was the first bit of belief I heard in this whole last 20 minutes. That's good. That's good.
The WBO, the IBF world title on the line. For me, one of the fights of the year. December 16th, Glendale, Arizona. Tickets on sale now after a great pre-sale yesterday. Live on the zone to end what is a tremendous run of schedules. As we said, Jesse Bam Rodriguez, WBO world champion against Sonny Showtime Edwards, IBF world champion. Fantastic unification, great for boxing. Well done to both of you for taking this fight. We look forward to seeing you in Arizona. We're going to face these guys off now.